Talk about frame placement. Frame placement is, let me go wide here. Frame placement, we're out in the rivers and rainforests of beautiful Mexico, and we're actually going to be doing a whole video on this in the photo kit that's coming up soon. But I thought I'd do a quick video for you guys, just kind of talking about the essence of the frame stop, or the edge of the frame, the closeout of your composition. There's always a lot to think about when you're dealing with space, position, line, and tone. That's especially true when you have a place with a lot going on, right? We all know it's all about the line. It's all about the light. It's all about what we do with it. And where the frame stops is huge. So let me just pop back over here. So let's say we're looking around here and I'm saying, how do I compose this scene, right? Now, maybe I'll get down here, I'll get more water. Maybe I'll go over here and I'll frame here. But where do I stop? Let's look. Let's first look at what isn't a frame stop. On the right, this is not a frame stop. Why? See, as we come in here, okay, we're coming in, this is a pretty good frame stop here because it's fading away. The eye leads over to here and then it kind of diminishes. There's nothing to distract the eye out of the scene. You come over here and you have this tree, but then the curve of the water, that nice Hogarth line in the water is cut off. So it's like an exit point on the frame with nothing really to stop you. Now let's move it. Okay, this is not a frame stop. This is. Now you're coming over here and just think about this. Now you come across and you're coming over and you're butting up with that tree and you've got the full length. And I deal with this a lot. I can't even describe how many times I've been building a scene, and I know you have too, and you're like, oh, it's the curve of the river or the line of the, so we can go over more, right? We could use this tree and add to that stop. But see, now it's becoming not a frame stop because there's things up in here leading the eye. You got distracting objects. So a frame stop can be, it can be a change of shade, a change of color. It can be like the shadow dropping down. But a bad frame stop can be a branch at the wrong angle. It can be an object, something reflecting light. A frame stop can be a darker scene where the eye just kind of drifts off and then bounces back. But a bad frame stop can be a darker scene that is too dark and it just leads the eye out. You'll see me stopping the composition in areas where there's a frame stop. So here, this tree is a good frame stop, but over here maybe is a little distracting. I'm gonna bring in just a little bit, right? Personally, I kind of like dark areas as a frame stop. Because they seem like a little bit of a wall, okay? So if you have a wall as a frame stop that kind of holds you back, it holds your eye back, I find that it's pretty effective. Right here, not a very good frame stop on the right. It's okay here on the left, pretty bad on the right, all right? So, but now, let's swing it over. Okay, now it's not bad on the right because we're getting the rocks coming around. The rocks kind of become the frame stop, and yet there's a little bit of an exit point here. So, you know, what else could we do? Well, we could change the whole composition. We could go more like this. We could zoom out more and look for other objects, other elements in the frame and think about, okay, this might be good, but is my composition overall good? I think tiny bit of distraction here, but it's pretty dark and this can be toned down. Nice stop to the trees here, nice stop over here. The rocks are wrapping around here. So that's looking pretty good. Now, if you come in and you bring all that together. Now let's say, you know, hey, I want to do a portrait. I'm gonna run out here. I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna put myself like right here in that frame. And so now we've got light and we got frame stops on each side. But the thing is to look at each element. Where the frames begin and end is not everything in your image. It's only one of the elements that we deal with every day when we're working with space, position, line, and tone. But I think when you think of the frame stops as their own fundamental element of composition, it gives us a lot of control over the output. I'm going to take on this particular scene in the morning light with some other videos I'm recording. We're going to talk about this more. Heck of a lot to be said for the making of a great composition, guys. But what I really just kind of wanted to get us thinking about today is those frame stops, where we start and where we end. Of course, we still got to consider everything that's in between, right? I mean, does that tree belong in the middle? these stops are good, but does that tree belong in the middle? What are all the ins and outs? How do the lines go? Then you got to combine in the tone and all the elements. This is what makes us image makers, is the ability to pull all of these things together and determine how an image should look. Frame stops can come in all kinds of different ways, and they can be done using tone, they can be done using rigid lines, they can be done using trees or shadows or anything. But just always look at that frame and think, is my eye leading in? Is my eye leading out? Look at that, that's a nice composition there with the water coming down to the right, the trees going up here, frame stop, and then we could slow down that shutter speed and get just some really beautiful tone. I'm gonna shoot that right now. That's pretty awesome. I think I may come back in the misty morning light with the mist on the water and all that, because it's not just the composition, right? It's the light, it's the tone. This would be amazing right now for portraits or something like that as well. I want a bride like standing on the edge of that falls or something like that. But muy bien down here. Very good, and you guys get the idea. You know how to apply this. I'm just coming out here to kind of remind us all to take the time to think about it in here, to implement it in here, so it comes out on the wall. Where the frame starts and ends matters, and when we think about it, when we look at that composition and tie all of that in with our space, position, line, tone, the light, the zones, everything, it's just gonna make it amazing. Okay, I think we're good. Hope you guys just kind of sparked your imagination a little bit. Maybe you'll put it to work, and I'm gonna go find a banana tree. Never mind, there's one right here, but there's a distinct lack of bananas on it, so I think I'm gonna have to run down to the Mercado, and they will have bananas, and they will be amazing. Okay.